Every single day, millions of pet owners pour a scoop of dry brown kibble into a bowl, believing they are giving their best friend the ultimate nutrition. But they are being lied to. Behind the bright packaging and billion-dollar marketing hides a dark, heavily guarded industrial secret, a ruthless system built on diseased animal parts, expired supermarket trash, and chemical illusions. Today, we are stepping inside the restricted walls of a commercial pet food factory to expose the disgusting reality of how dry kibble is actually made. Every day, massive dump trucks arrive carrying what the industry legally calls 4D meat. That stands for animals that arrive dead, dying, diseased, or disabled. But it gets worse. Look closely at this incoming pile. Those are expired supermarket meats, thrown directly into the intake pit, still wrapped in their styrofoam trays and thick plastic wrap. There is no time to unpackage it. The plastic, the diseased bones, the rotting flesh. It is all mercilessly scooped up together, ready to become your dog's dinner. Roasted chicken breasts, farm-fresh vegetables, and a pristine kitchen. The glossy packaging features majestic wolves and bold promises of 100% natural beef. It's a brilliant, billion-dollar illusion designed specifically to manipulate you, not your dog. But flip that premium bag over, and the real story is hiding in the microscopic print. Words like meat meal, animal byproducts, and fillers. Legally, a product heavily marketed as made with real beef only requires a microscopic 3% of actual meat. That pristine, sunny farm you saw on TV, it doesn't exist. The real journey of your dog's food begins here. This grotesque mountain of waste doesn't stay whole for long. It is violently shoved into massive, industrial boiling vats in a grim process known as rendering. Here, the disturbing mixture of rotting meat, bone, and melted plastic is subjected to punishing heat, often exceeding 280 degrees. The goal isn't to cook a nutritious meal, it's to brutally sterilize the diseased bacteria. As it violently boils, the yellow animal fat is siphoned off to be used later. What remains is baked into a dry, dead, brown powder, stripped of almost all natural nutrition. The industry calls this highly processed ash meat meal, and it is the #1 ingredient in your dog's food. But even this dead, rendered meat ash is too expensive for the billion-dollar pet food industry. To maximize their profit margins, they need cheap bulk. Enter the fillers. Massive silos dump endless streams of feed-grade corn, wheat, and soy. Often the rejected, mold-contaminated grains deemed unfit for human consumption. This cheap carbohydrate dust is violently blended with the meat ash. Blasted with high-pressure steam and boiling water, this dry nightmare is churned into a thick, sticky, unnatural paste. Your dog is a biological carnivore, yet their primary diet has just been engineered into a cheap industrial dough. industrial dough now enters the violent heart of the factory, the extruder. This colossal steel machine acts as a high-speed pressure cooker. Massive metal screws force the cheese paste forward, generating extreme friction and blistering heat. Temperatures inside soar so high that any surviving natural vitamins or enzymes are completely obliterated. The boiling sludge is then mercilessly squeezed through a thick iron plate with tiny holes. As it escapes the intense pressure, razor-sharp blades spinning at blinding speeds slice it into uniform pieces. It violently puffs up, instantly transforming from a toxic gray sludge into the innocent, familiar shape of dog Kibble. Destruction of your dog's food isn't finished yet. The freshly formed Kibble now travels on a steel belt straight into towering industrial ovens. Biologically, a dog's body relies on moisture-rich prey to survive and protect their kidneys. But inside these scorching metal tunnels, hurricane-force winds of extreme heat brutally bake the Kibble. Every single drop of life-giving water is violently evaporated. What emerges on the other side is completely unrecognizable to nature. It is bone dry, rock hard, and completely stripped of any living enzymes. It is, by every biological definition, dead food, just waiting to sit like a stone in your dog's stomach. At this stage, the baked Kibble is completely tasteless and devoid of any natural aroma. Left alone, your dog would never touch it. So, how does the industry trick your pet into devouring these dead rocks? They use an addiction spray. Inside massive, rotating steel drums, the dry Kibble is blasted with a thick, hot mist of what the industry legally calls animal digest. It's a chemically engineered soup of rendered animal fat, restaurant grease, and potent flavor enhancers. This dark, heavy oil aggressively coats every single pellet, giving it that familiar glossy shine and pungent smell. It isn't nutrition, it's a biological hack, an irresistible glaze designed to hijack your dog's senses. Day after day, scoop after scoop, this highly processed, grease-soaked kibble builds up inside your dog's system. Stripped of vital moisture, these dead, rock-hard pellets force your dog's organs to work overtime just to break them down. The massive overload of cheap, industrial carbohydrates instantly spikes their blood sugar, packing on thick, suffocating layers of fat. But the destruction doesn't stop there. The toxic, rendered fats and synthetic chemical additives trigger severe, chronic internal inflammation. It physically erupts through their skin as relentless itching, redness, and painful yeast infections. We often blame age or bad genetics when our dogs fall ill, but the terrifying reality is, we are slowly poisoning them, one glossy bag at a time. You didn't know. None of us did. We trusted the smiling packaging and the billion-dollar marketing. But now that you've seen the terrifying reality of commercial kibble, you have a choice. You don't have to feed them dead, grease-soaked, rendered waste. Dogs are biological carnivores. They are designed to thrive on real, moisture-rich meat, fresh organs, and natural fats.
As you can see, the canal is very red and swollen. I suspect a deep infection. We need to clean this out and start medication right away.
It is time to stop funding an industry that profits from your dog's slow decline. Take back control of their health today. Subscribe to uncover more pet industry secrets.